There he is, Your Honor, he's on.
All right, Mr. Wilkins, we're in court. I need you to be stationary and take your hoodie down, please, sir, so I can see your face. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. I can't see your hand.
I'm sorry, you talking to me, Your Honor?
I am. Would you please raise your right hand? Would you swear or affirm that any testimony you give in connection with this matter will be the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Miss Eugene, I can't see your face anymore either. Would you please come on the screen? Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give in connection with this matter will be the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Miss Irina Camarillo.
Your Honor, there is one set of twins in this case. It's two 14-year-old girls, Kaya and Kimura. Each of the parties has one of the children. However, only Miss Eugene has sought DCSS services in establishing a support amount. Mr. Wilkins has chosen not to move forward with getting support for the daughter that's in his care. As a result, we have done a worksheet. I do want to point to the Honor really quickly before I go into it. This is the case that came on a couple months ago. Regarding okay, so the custodial parent's income that I've got in the worksheet this time is $3,457 per month. That's the last 3 quarters now. The child's receiving public insurance. I did give Mr. Wilkins credit for a qualified child because
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Is that the amount you have for his income?
Her income, Your Honor.
Her income.
His income, Your Honor. He was supposed to send me a volume of records from Chime, Cash App, Zelle, and Venmo. He's 10 years. I've received 3 statements, and that's all, Your Honor. I can share the screen and he can explain it with the court, but it doesn't show me any kind of picture or accurate representation. I mean, I don't believe, Your Honor, but I can share it if he wants me to. It's just 3 months. So what I did then, Your Honor, was I looked at, okay, well, he says he makes $3,500 per month. If I put that into the worksheet, his obligation would be $473 per month. However, the custodial parent believes that he makes $100,000 a year. That to me was just purely based on a comment he's made once before. Miss Eugene can go into more details if she has more. To me, $80,000 based on 10 years and the lack of producing records, which seem purposeful at this point, I put in $80,000 per year, and that obligation came out to $748 per month.
How'd you come up with 80,000?
Your Honor, she thought it was $100,000. That wasn't really based on anything other than his statement. When I looked at his records, at one point in the statement, like $5,000 flowed into the account. The other times it was significantly less. It showed like a starting balance of 0. He's been doing it 10 years. I thought that $80,000, if the highest he sent me was $5,000 a month flowed into that account, I thought that I mean, it's all just based on my thought that probably he makes more than that typically, and he's trying to underrepresent how much he makes by not giving me any documentation. 10 years of business, and I'm getting 3 months of statements.
Right. Which months did he send you information for? Which 3 months? Was it after the hearing?
It was, no, Your Honor, it was the 3 before. It was January, February, and March. And
you saw $5,000 flow into which month?
Into the March one. The amount that went in deposits was $5,141.09.
Okay. And he's a mechanic, as I recall.
A mobile mechanic, Your Honor. Yes.
Yep. I remember. Okay. So when you put in at $5,000 a month times 12 months, that would be a $60,000 a year income, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I can put that in really quickly for the court.
Yeah. And then 80,000 was the halfway mark between the 60,000 and the 100,000 she contended he made. You did worksheet on all of that, but not the 60K. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So before while you're doing that worksheet, I have them under oath. Let me hear from her first, and then Mr. Wilkins. Yes, Miss Eugene.
Hey, you had a question for me?
Yeah, the question was, and Mr. Wilkins will have the word after you, what you believe his income to be annually and why.
So we used to live together, and we've gone over how much money he makes, and he used to have receipts that he would hide.
You lived together when?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Okay. And he was a mobile mechanic then?
Yes, he's been a mobile mechanic for years, so I'm familiar with the amount of money he makes.
And you believe it to be what and why?
He told me he made over $100,000. That's what he told me. I do know that he does have some slow months at times, but I know he makes more than what he's telling me out he makes.
Did you ever see any bank statements, deposits, cash?
Yes, I saw a bank statement from a couple of years ago for $30,000 that he had in the bank.
Is that all you've seen is a $30,000
Yeah, it was just a receipt that he forgot to throw away.
receipt? Okay. And you believe that represented what?
His income of what he makes.
Okay.
He has several saving accounts that he stashes money in several places.
He did that when you lived together?
Yeah.
What bills did he pay when you lived together?
He would help pay the rent, or we would split whatever needed to be paid, or whatever couldn't be paid. He would try and come up with the rest.
How much was the rent?
The rent was 900.
How much?
900.
And how much did he pay?
We were splitting it at one point, but at first he wasn't paying anything.
Why wasn't he paying anything at first?
Because he refused.
You were living together. He didn't pay anything towards the rent. Did he pay any other bills?
He would help out with the utilities.
How much was that?
Probably anywhere from $300 to $400.
How much of that did he pay?
He would pick and choose, so it was based off of what it was. So he would pay the whole balance if that was the bill.
Any other things that he paid for? Child care, extracurricular activities, medical?
When the girls were in school, he would help and pay childcare, but they haven't been in childcare in a while.
How much was the child care?
It used to be like, I want to say $100 a week.
And how much of that did he pay?
He would so we would split it. I think we would do 1 week, and he would do the other week.
So $200 a month?
Uh-huh.
How about car notes or credit card bills? Did y'all have anything like that when you lived together?
I did. He didn't.
So did he ever pay anything towards credit card bills or car notes?
If I stressed to him that I didn't have it, yes, he would.
Would you say that he consistently paid this stuff every month that y'all lived together, or would it be sporadic?
It's sporadic. He's not consistent in how he does his payments.
As I last recall when he was here, he said he lived with his mother. Do you know that to be correct?
Our daughter stays with his mother. He doesn't necessarily live there. He hops around.
What do you mean he hops around?
Between hotels and different women.
What other expenses do you believe he had that you know of when y'all were together?
Just his car insurance and phone bill.
You have any idea how much that was per month?
His phone bill, maybe a couple of $100, and his car insurance probably around the same.
He buy groceries or anything?
Yes, he did buy groceries.
How much was that?
We spent a lot of money on groceries, so a couple $100 each week.
Cable?
We did have cable.
Did he help pay that bill?
No, he did not.
How long were y'all together? Did you live together?
We lived together on and off for roughly about 14 years.
14 years. And your testimony
12 years. 12 years, yeah.
Okay, so for 12 years, this is how the bill situation went in your house, off and on?
Something like that. It was not always consistent.
Okay. So why do you believe that he makes $100,000 a year or over that? Just because he said something to you about it?
He spends and he spends freely, and I know that his habits cost him. So I know he has money put to the side.
What do
Like I
you
said,
mean by spends and spends? So people say that all the time. That could mean somebody who spends their extra $50 a month. That could mean somebody who spends their extra $10,000 a month in my court. So what do
Mhm.
you mean when you say that? What is it that you see or have heard or know to support that statement?
I know what he would normally, well, I haven't been dealing with him in a while, but what he would normally buy and versus what he buys now. Other than that,
Okay, well,
that's all I have.
but Miss Eugene, I don't know you or Mr. Wilkins. And so we're here trying to determine income. He's going to get to speak next. If there's something that I needed, I've had people come in and tell me, I watch a person go to an ATM at a strip club and take out, $1,000. I've heard people say, with the extra $100 in the house, the person goes and buys beer. I mean, it's all kind of situations. I don't have any context for what you mean by when you say spends freely. What is it that you mean by that? Why are you saying that?
So he carries a lot of cash with him, thousands of dollars. Ever since this case has transpired, he recently shut down all of his accounts, just so I won't be able to get anything from it. He buys excessive materialistic items.
Like what?
Like I feel, as far as our children, he just recently got them the new iPad tablets. Which other than that,
He's bought the tablets. He's bought the tablets for the girls.
Yes.
Okay, well that's good.
That is good. But besides that, I really
Does he
don't know
buy
how
them
to interact with
clothes?
them here and there. Yes.
Does he buy them shoes?
He hasn't in a while, but he will. He does do for his children.
Does he take them to activities or pay for their activities or their outings?
Yes, he will.
So he's contributing freely to their care too?
Yes.
Does he buy them food that you know of?
When they're with him, yes.
Only when they're with him?
Oh, every day.
No, sir, let her finish. I'll let you talk in a second.
It just depends. Like he will stop by and drop off some wings to his daughter that lives with me.
Okay. Is this an accurate statement, Miss Eugene? Despite not having a formal child support obligation, Mr. Wilkins freely does things for the girls when they ask or when they need it?
Correct.
Okay. Well, okay. And one of the girls lives with him full-time and one lives with you full-time?
That is correct.
How long has that been going on?
For about almost 6 months.
6 months.
6 or 7 months. 6 or 7 months.
Yeah. We was at 6 months last time we came to court. We had like 8 or 9 months now.
Sir, let her finish. You'll get to respond in a second.
I think that
I realize it's difficult to have somebody talking about you, but that's just the way litigation works. One side goes first, then the other side. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it happened roughly around November.
Okay, so before the child went to go live with him full time, was that his behavior when they were both with you? Did he kind of freely buy food, clothes, things for them when they needed it as teenagers?
Yes, but the thing is, he wants to have control over, or based off of how I make him feel, is how he would help me, and that was my dilemma. I shouldn't have to base it off of how you feel or how you can control the situation. If it's needed, it's needed, and his consistency. So he will participate, but it may be like, well, I need $200 for this in 2 weeks, and he'll do $25 here, $50 here on an increment, and that was my biggest issue.
Okay.
I just wanted consistency.
Understood. All right. Anything else, Miss Eugene, you want to say?
No, that's all.
All right. Mr. Wilkins, your turn.
I mean, I take care of my children. There's no equal rights.
Well, hold on a second. We have very limited time, sir. I'm very familiar with the two of y'all because you were here before. What we're addressing now is what number to attribute to you for your annual earnings, which will go in the worksheet and will be calculated as to what your consistent child support obligation will be for the child. That's all we're talking about here. I asked those questions of Miss Eugene because nobody seems to have very definitive numbers for you. So I have to have some rational basis for reaching my decision here. And if you notice, that's why I asked what your behavior was like that she knew of when you were together, coupled with what Miss Arena Camarillo has told me coupled with what you're about to tell me, I have to make what is called a credibility determination and figure out, based on credible evidence, what your salary number needs to be that we will put into the worksheet. We have Miss Eugene's information because she has verifiable paycheck stubs and or earning statements. We do not have that for you, as we don't have for most entrepreneurs. We have to rely on your bank statements and other evidence like the information you just heard me ask Miss Eugene. So it's now your opportunity to respond, to give your your testimony based on what you think that number should be and why. And remember what I said, it's credible evidence, okay? Credible. So what I've heard so far, just running it back, is that you've made a statement at some point that you earned over 100,000, that your bank statements support that the highest deposit that you submitted, which was not nearly what you should have submitted, showed 5,000. And that the average between those two would be about 80,000 a year, based on what Miss Arena Camarillo is contending. I've also heard evidence that you do provide for the children, and that one of the children is living with Miss Eugene and one is under your care full time. So that's what we call credible evidence, that which I can put my hand on and which I heard directly under oath. It's now your opportunity to offer anything else you think I need to consider for credible evidence. Okay. I don't think there's any contention that you do not take care of your children. But at this point, we're going to have a consistent number for which child support will be based. That's what we're here for today. Okay, go ahead.
I pay a considerable amount of money in part. So, okay, let's just say the 5,000, whatever month that was, I would say more than half of that, if not, we'll just say half of that is paid for parts. So that's not nowhere near what I'm walking away with.
For parts for your business.
Yeah, I pay for my clients' parts. So a lot of times they'll send the parts and the labor at the same time, or they'll send the parts once and then send the labor. But majority, okay, like I said, we just use that $5,000 a month, whatever month that would have. Like I said, at least half, if not more of that, was spent on parts. That's the second biggest thing that I would love to be considered. I don't make $80,000 a year. Even if you do that 5 times, whatever a year, let's make sure that we break at least a half, or if not somewhere in that vicinity, on parts, because I have to pay for all of my clients' parts.
But you get reimbursed for that when the client pays you for their vehicle, right? Yes.
If I spend my money on it, I get reimbursed for that. Or, if I don't have enough for however much the parts cost, or if they exceed what I'm willing to spend, then the client has to send money for their parts.
Yeah, but you're not understanding. Okay. This is the problem, Mr. Wilkins, I think that you're having is basic accounting. If you are advancing money out of your account to pay for parts, when your clients pick up their car, they're paying you back what you pay for the parts, and they're paying you a fee for your services, the work that you do. You can't get double credit for that.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
That's how you've chosen to operate your business.
If I ran $5 that month, that does not necessarily mean that was my whole, I have $5,000. That was the money that was spent coming through deposit with parts and plus whatever I made. So that's not that I made $5,000 that month. I had to spend money on parts. So that don't mean I get it
back. If you spend money on parts, you get it back once you fix the vehicle and give the person the part in the car.
Or how do I get it back if the money it's not always my money that's being spent. Like I said, some of these parts are several hundred or however much dollars. That's not my money. That's the client will send me the money for the parts, and I go
sending you the money to purchase the parts. Well, you didn't show that to Miss Arena Camarillo. Can you show that today?
That was the statements I said. I don't know. That's what I told her. I don't know how to break them down. If she want me to go back and highlight them to show what's used at the parts store, I guess something like that, because that's it. That's my second biggest thing. That's what you were
supposed to do. Okay, this is what we're going to do today. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Wilkins?
That's it. Like I said, that's just my aside. Okay, I see y'all. See, I know I take care of my children, but aside the money that's coming in, that's not necessarily what I'm making. I spend good money. I mean, yes, I do work on a lot of cars.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impute income at 70,000. I'm doing that based on credible evidence that the highest deposit was 5,000 and some change. That he made the statement that makes 100,000. The problem, Mr. Wilkins, is you are a terrible bookkeeper. You're gonna have to do better with your business bookkeeping for now. But 70,000 will be the income number. Miss Arena Camarillo, the thing is, oh,
I'm not even making 70,000. Even if we say 70,000, which, okay, let's just even say
Mr.
70,000.
Wilkins, listen to what I'm saying, because the problem is you don't listen very well. If you have custody of one child and she has custody of one child, something else technically could have happened here, but you're not seeking support. So that's all I could do today.
I'm not that kind of guy. I don't need to take her money.
It's not about that. It could have very well been a different result. That's not a slight to either one of y'all, but it's logically follows that if one person has one child and one has the other, what should happen? But if you don't handle your business, I can't make up something you didn't ask for. I can't do that.
I send them over the ones that I have. I said I ain't been, things have been slow lately. But if I need to highlight what's made at the parts store and what's not,
okay, that's all I can do today. All right, that's it. Okay, y'all are excused. That's the number that's going in the worksheet, 70K.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll submit an order by the close of business tomorrow, if that's okay.
Yep, thank you. All right, y'all are excused.
wait, damn.
Uh-oh, did he leave? Mr. Wilkins, you can't be cursing in court. I'm gonna have to hold you in contempt, and then I have to send the sheriff to come pick you up.
I'm sorry.
You're excused. Bye.
So what do I do from here?
Nothing. The numbers are gonna go in the worksheet, and then you'll see what your support obligation is. But you should go talk to somebody. I can't give you legal advice.
So do I stay in court or do I leave court?
You leave. Goodbye.